What's up, y'all? We're here for our weekly energy oracle forecast. We're taking a look at the week ahead, at the kind of spiritual, energetic weather that we are going to be living in the influence of. And so to start off, we have opposition, followed by manifest, followed by hunt. This whole little stack came up. Followed by knowledge. Hold on, so let's see. Let's start building here. Opposition, manifest, hunt, knowledge, hope, and power. So it looks like it feels like we're overcoming challenge and opposition, and we're finding harmony and unity where there was division and separation. And we're trying to close the gap between that and just give the ego, the opponent, no space to get in, no time, no space to get in. So a few days ago, we had the Five of Wands coming up with let's see, what was it with? Bluff and the High Priestess. And there were some other cards surrounding it that had a lot of Mars and Leo energy in the mix. And the general theme was that because of this new moon in Libra, the North Node being in Aries, so like the nodes of the moon were activated because of the eclipse. And so both the Libra side of us and the Aries side are kind of like charged up right now. So that Aries half can feel very fired up and, a little bit like that Mars warrior energy, which is the hunter, which is the, kind of the athlete, the competitor as well. So you may feel a sense of opposition or competition, but try not to. Try to think of everyone and everything as this unified whole, all as one. There is no competition. If there's not competition, then you have no enemy. It's like it's all about your awareness and your perspective. So in order to manifest, we have to push through creation phase 3. This is what Kabbalah refers to as the period of time in which you're putting out all the effort and like you're coming at the manifestation from a metaphysical point of view. You've got your thoughts clear, your feelings are there, you're in gratitude, you are taking all the actions, you're unblocking the subconscious and making sure that your subconscious beliefs are in alignment, and you feel like you deserve all of the things. You're taking leaps of faith. You're overcoming your darkness. You're taking the risk and putting it all on the line and doing the thing and saying the thing. And still, it's like, when is anything happening? And it's like we're feeling all of that opposition of just the resistance, this invisible resistance of when I want to be in this next level. I want to move forward. I want all this effort to start bearing fruit. And, we're all there. We're all at this tipping point of, wow, this pressure cooker of tension and anticipation and anxiety. Because, this has been going on for a while. This, a lot of change in our lives and things turning upside down and being uprooted, and then a lot of change within. And so then this whole year, it's like we've been rebirthing ourselves and, building new things and shifting into a new direction. But it just feels like nothing has really, it feels like no one's really gotten momentum yet, right? It feels like we've all just been treading water. Or did anybody ever have a big wheel growing up? And if you were on like a hardwood floor or a slick surface, if you started up that big wheel too fast, like you used to like pushing the pedals too fast, the plastic wheels would just spin and they wouldn't gather any friction. You'd just be sitting there spinning your wheels. So I think we kind of feel like the big wheel right now. We feel like we've been putting all this effort in and our wheels are just spinning and they're not going forward. But I feel like we're really moving past this opposition, because opposition was the first card that came out. So to me, that's sort of like the way that we begin the week. We're just feeling like, oh my gosh, like, is everything against us? like salmon fishing upstream, opposition. There was also cards over the weekend about not being competitive, but at the same time, like making yourself a competitive option, like being the best at what you're doing, like staying in your lane. Don't be competing with others and don't create other in your mind. But if you're just looking at your own self, like give yourself a competitive edge, peacock your talents a little bit, like make sure that your assets are in the forefront. It might open you up for an opportunity. So yes, something is about to come through. I can feel it, because the Hunt card. So let me just frame out the 4 phases of creation according to Kabbalah. Creation phase 1 is the initial spark of inspiration. It's the beginning seed level of an idea. You're like, oh, that sounds nice, but you don't have an active desire yet to actually take action. It's a passive desire. So in creation phase 2, there is an active desire. There's something awakens within you, and you see the value in the idea and you get excited about it. And so you decide to put in all the effort and go in all guns blazing, and you are in the honeymoon phase with the idea. So you're very passionate about it. You are putting in the effort and maybe even seeing some momentum building. Then you get to creation phase 3, and you're still putting in all the effort, and you're not seeing a lot of like results yet, and it's like being in the middle of a very, very long road trip, and there is no end in sight. You're far from the beginning, and you're just like, I've had it with the playlist. We didn't bring enough music options. What have we done? I'm going insane. So creation phase 3 is when it doesn't seem like anything is happening. Your faith is being tested. Your self-worth is being tested. You're tempted to like throw in the towel or settle for less, or, settle for something that's not quite right, or lose hope, or resign yourself to despair. But that's the real initiation. That's the real test, because when the going get tough, the tough get going. But it's really like it's the universe testing your mettle. It's like, do you have faith that this can happen? Have you built the vessel to sustain this once you get it, right? Do you have what it takes to make this happen and keep it going and keep putting the effort in? Do you care about it enough to make that investment? And so the universe is testing you. And in To Be Magnetic work, which is all about manifesting as well, but it's about internal healing and healing not only the subconscious and doing like the emotional and spiritual healing work, but it's also about healing the nervous system. So in To Be Magnetic, the process is expand, unblock, and take action. And so you're expanding what you believe is possible for you. You are unblocking subconscious programming and then reprogramming your subconscious. You're taking action on hunches that you get that are divine guidance. They call them pings. And you're passing tests. So the universe is presenting you little almosts, and it's like, ooh, will you settle for that? Or will you keep going? Will you say, no, that's not what I'm asking for. I want to leave room for the real deal to come in. I want to align with what is truly meant for me and nothing less, right? So during the phases in To Be Magnetic, there's a time period called the Magick Dark, and that's when you've been passing tests. You've been expanding what you believe is possible for you. You haven't resigned yourself to despair. There are things you've been following your internal guidance. There are huge sacrifices that you have made, or like fears that you've faced and walked through, and you've really been growing and doing the work, and you're like, I put it all on the line. I told the person the truth about this. I gave up that, and I quit doing this and everything that I thought I was supposed to do inside, and I took all the actions towards the thing and kept working, and it's like still nothing's happening. It's like, wait. Because that's the moment where the water's drawing back for the wave to come in. And so that moment of stillness is this stillness where the universe is so close to sending you that thing. And the real test now is just to stay in a state of surrender and release. And so that's what I think that we're at with these cards right here. This opposition coming up with manifest and hunt next to it tells me that this opposition is that feeling that like, oh, is everything against me? Is anything ever going to just work out? Like, is this thing gonna, like we're in the crushing frustration of creation phase 3. But this pressure, this heat is where diamonds are formed. This is where the strength and the wisdom and the grit and the perseverance are built to have fulfillment once you get the manifestation, and then also maintain that. Be able to have enough value for yourself and for the thing that you put the investment in to maintain it, right? So it feels very like a lot of opposition right now, and we're just being asked to stay strong, keep our trust, keep our focus on what we want to manifest, keep our motivation and our passion and our drive for the hunt alive. Keep going after what we want. Do not resign ourselves to despair. Because what happens if a hunter gets tired? No one eats. No one eats in the tribe. Think about when you couldn't just go to a tavern and get a meat pie, or you couldn't go in, like you had to hunt for every meal, or you had to crush wheat and grind it in a little stone thing with a pedal and mortar and pestle, whatever that word is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, think about that. If you had to toil that much just for each meal, right? I have not cooked because I have been so busy. I like to cook once or twice a week and batch and have really, good made from scratch food all week, and it makes me feel nourished. And I've been working, so much and doing readings and stuff and then keeping up with our content, so I haven't had time to cook in the last couple of weeks. And I've just been sort of like scrounging meals here and there, right? But it makes you realize, it's like, wow, if you don't have the energy to maintain the hunt, you will starve. I could literally starve to death. And just because like I'm just working myself too tired to eat, right? And it's just like, no, like, think about it. So you got to keep your hunger to keep going, right? So keep that hunger alive to keep going for your manifestations. Keep showing up even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, right? The hunter has to keep going. It doesn't matter if he feels like it or not, because the village will still be hungry tomorrow, right? There's meals. There's always another day that you have to get up and hunt. You have to get up and hunt. So do not resign yourself, right? And the thing about the opposition, and this is like the opponent, right? So every time we up level, our opponent, the Satan, the devil, there's a male Satan and a female Satan. The opponent up levels with you. So no matter how more advanced and how much you let go and how much negativity you break and you evolve past it, you transcend, devil's always going to meet you exactly where you are. The opponent is always going to be this equal opposing force against you. That is how nature was designed to keep us pushing towards our growth edge and held accountable to use free will. So equal and opposite is opposition against us, right? And so the male Satan, the male opponent, masculine energy opponent, comes the first time and tries to trip you up to make a mistake. And it's like all of a sudden your sparks of light have spilt out of your vessel. Well, they're still on the ground, right? They haven't spilt over to the side of negativity yet on the scale. Until the female Satan comes in, it makes you feel terrible about yourself. It makes you feel shame, despair, hopelessness, right? Makes you give up, thinking that nothing's ever going to happen. And that despair spills your light into the side of negativity. And then you have to do so much work, again, spiritual transformation and healing to earn that, to get that light back that fell when you started feeling down on yourself with all that shame. It's like, think about when you feel crappy like that, where you're just like, oh, you're beating yourself up so hard for making a mistake. And how many days does it take you to recover, right? If you ingrain yourself with enough galvanization and conviction. How many years does it take to heal the subconscious pattern that experience put into your heart and into your mind, right? And into your belief systems that you don't even know about, right? So be vigilant. Do not despair. Just expect the opponent to be there, like in a video game, like in Mario or something like that, and just expect it. And that way you won't feel so bad about it. You're just going to be like, okay, cool, opponent's going to be there. This is what masculine opponent's going to be there to trip me up. Female opponent's going to be there to make me feel like shit. I'm going to like foil both of them. And so like when you actually are like, you know what? Fuck, I made this mistake. Shit. You know what? I'm not going to get down about it. I'm just going to fix it. I'm just going to figure out, like, I'm going to pause, first of all. I'm not going to, like, reactively fix it. I'm going to pause, take note of this situation. What do I need to learn right now? Why is this in my movie? On a metaphysical level, on a spiritual level, and then also on a physical level. Okay. Tuning in, creator, can you give me guidance on how to proactively meet the situation for the highest good of all, to be in alignment with like the best scenario here, right? So tune in for that guidance and then make amends, do something to change the situation, then work from there. But when you don't give up and you're just like, whatever, creator, I have certainty in the creator can help me fix this, creator can help me repair this, and I'm not going to beat myself up, I'm just going to learn from it and change. Then it's like you get double the points back and you're like Super Mario and you're like ding, 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 and you're turbocharged. But the thing is, you cannot like fuck up on purpose and make mistakes and, short circuit, knowing that if you don't feel bad about it and you fix it, then everything will be okay. Like that doesn't count. You can't trick the system like that. It's not the same energetically. So right now, if you're feeling resistance, don't give up. Just don't give up on the core essence of your dream and vision. The physical, the literal way it shows up may not be exactly how you expect. It might, it may not. Because right now, during eclipse season, things change quickly. Things can expand, things can progress, things can accelerate. But that can also mean that if you're holding on to things that need to change in order for other things to come in that you're clinging to, that you won't allow, like it can be very turbulent and unpleasant and uncomfortable as things shift and change. Unexpected things can happen. So again, don't give up. Don't feel, don't take it personally if you're feeling opposition. Just know that it's like a universal test. And if things are being taken from your life right now, and like maybe don't fight it, like think deep down, okay, is this in alignment with me? If things are coming into your life and being presented, be careful not to jump on them immediately before you ask more questions, or you don't want to be reactive either way, for good or for bad. Like take things like feel them out and be grounded and choose with your like sovereign consciousness, rather than a feeling of like FOMO or like, oh, I don't want to miss this opportunity, or scarce, like, oh, it's not gonna last, I've got to jump on it now, or you know what I mean? So for either way, try not to be reactive. Opposition is going to pass us, eventually, and then it'll be back again. So just keep your eye on your manifestation, keep your hunger to keep the hunt going. And then keep on doing research, knowledge here. And it's like we know what we need to do, but there's still more layers, still going deeper to make us stronger at what we do and better at what we do. So again, stay focused on what you want to create and what you want to see bloom within your life, and use the knowledge that you have to keep steady going in that direction, but deepen that knowledge too. And there's something, I feel like there's like an inner knowing that you like either know you're going in the right direction, or you know what you need to do, or the pivot. There's something, but I feel like we there's something that we already know inside, and there might be more expanded on that knowledge this week. We might learn more than we knew previously, and just go deeper into the thing that you're learning. Hope and power. So again, don't resign yourself to despair. Keep your hopes up. Keep hoping that life is transforming before your very eyes, and that any minute, huge opportunities can come through in your manifestation. Keep your hunger, keep your active desire going, because that's what gives you real manifesting power. And then divine inspiration comes through. I just feel that this is more than just what we already know. There's a deep inner knowing. There's higher knowledge coming through in the form of almost abstract wisdom and understanding that we can't quite put our finger on, but it's starting to come through and be embodied in us. And I keep seeing the spine, and it reminds me of Kundalini rising, if that makes sense. And that Kundalini rising is bringing up your desire and your passion, because I'm seeing that repetition of form here too, that string that connects this. It feels like a spinal cord. But yeah, that Kundalini energy is moving through, and it is giving us a resurgence of energy, inspiration, focus, drive, determination, power. It's getting our hopes up again, which is great, and that's going to give us even more power. This is giving us power, like a spiritual power that comes from the Creator. The purple here just makes me think of divinity and divine inspiration and spirituality and royal level of spirituality. So it makes me think that, as long as we don't get too caught up and obsessed and neurotic over the opposition, but we really draw power from source. And so when we can relax in that, it's there's no competition. There is no opposition. I'm in alignment with source. I have affinity with the light. That's who's giving me my strength. That's who's guiding me to my ultimate, destined path that's there for me, for the taking. It's mine and no one else's. And so I can trust that ultimately, if I'm doing everything that I can, and eventually I will get to where I'm going. I will align with what is resonant with me and has affinity with me. And if it's not for me, then it will never be right and it will never align. It's not to say that our destined path, the one that is meant for us, will not give us opposition. It will definitely give opposition. The difficulty, or what's complex, is learning how to distinguish the opposition that comes from anything that you set your hand to, and anything that particularly will reveal a lot of light and power and good, that will also come under a lot of opposition from the opponent, right? And so it's learning to distinguish what is opposition and what is not on path for you or toxic, right? So we're letting go of things that aren't in alignment, that aren't on path, that are toxic, so that we can be aligned with what is truly meant for us and what we've been trying to manifest, right? And so that all of our energy can go towards making that happen, and that new life happen, and all of the new experiences that we're going to have, and these new cycles coming through. It's called coming into blossom. All right, you guys, I'm feeling hopeful for the week, and I hope you do too. Ciao.